all about me.
This is the Dan Patrick Show podcast.
There is more where that came from.
Click back for new episodes all week long. Broadcasting from the Mercedes Man Cave, this is Dan Patrick.
Final hour on this Friday. It's a meat Friday. Boys in the back. I don't know what they've got. I saw some pineapple, and they know I don't like pineapple, but there are some hamburgers back there. So meat Friday on the Traeger Grill. Glad to have you on board. Reggie Miller in 20 minutes from now. I saw this quote, and maybe you didn't see it. Maybe you didn't even give it a second glimpse. Kobe Altman is the Cavaliers general manager. He says LeBron and the Cavs have had good dialogue as a decision nears. So they've had good dialogue with his management team. I don't know exactly what it means, other than I keep saying I think LeBron stays in Cleveland. That's been my thought all along. I know that we want a super team together with the Lakers. I don't think that's going to happen, at least not this year. So they've had a good dialogue there. What could they be telling LeBron that would constitute a good dialogue? You got Colin Sexton. That's not reason enough for LeBron to go, yeah, that's the point guard that we're missing here. You still have Tristan Thompson. You still have JR. You have Kevin Love. Kyle Korver, do you want him to come back? George Hill. So, Clarkson. Do you have Nance Jr.? That doesn't sound like murderer's row here where you go, okay, because Boston's going to be better. Philadelphia didn't help themselves yesterday at the draft. Not immediately. So Boston's going to be the team you have to go through. But I don't know if there is something that you could tell LeBron, hey, we're going to do what? That would constitute a good dialogue. Yeah, Paul.
Could good dialogue for the general manager, Kobe Altman, be LeBron not saying he's leaving? Basically saying, I'm open to seeing what you guys do in free agency. I'm open to seeing what moves you make. That'd be enough. If the answer's not no, that's fantastic news.
I just don't know what Cleveland can do because you have these salaries, these contracts that who wants that? Who wants J.R. Smith or Tristan Thompson? Unless, it's a salary dump and you're willing to take that on. But the Cavs don't have any assets where you go, okay, got to have. Kevin Love is the guy that you would have to trade.
What about a team that wants to tank and wants to get expiring contracts? Take a bunch of stuff off Cleveland's hands, take next year off, and move up in the draft. Like if you're, I don't know what team.
But what are you getting from them? If a team is going to tank and they're not very good, then what assets do you have other than draft picks? So Cleveland's not going to go, hey, will you take these two contracts and then in turn give us one really good player? I just don't see that happening. But, the fact that it was a good dialogue kind of caught my attention there. Because if San Antonio is smart, they're going to mend this relationship with Kawhi Leonard. And maybe part of that is, Popovich saying, Kawhi, I'm not going to be here much longer. And hopefully you'll view that as maybe a good thing, that it's a fresh start with somebody else. But the organization, we care about you. We know we're going to have a good product here that we're going to put on the floor. We want to compete for championships here. You're going to make the most money here. You can always live in Los Angeles in the offseason. So whatever his game plan is to try to convince Kawhi Leonard to at least come back and reconsider. I'm going to guess the $200 million is the first thing that you have to consider if you're Kawhi Leonard. Now, does Paul George look at $200 million in Oklahoma City? Is all of a sudden playing with Russell Westbrook not that bad? Because Russ is the guy who has to take all the heat here, and you can be the second option there. And you don't get anywhere near the criticism that Russell Westbrook does. You don't get as many of the compliments or notoriety, but you're still getting $200 million. Who's going to do a sign and trade? What are you getting in a sign and trade if you're Cleveland? What are you getting if you're San Antonio? What are you getting if you're Oklahoma City? That has to be factored in as well. So it's a story that's media driven because the media wants to have something to talk about here. The media is going to be, they're going to have a real bad day, week, month if LeBron stays in Cleveland. But if he goes to the Lakers, and these talking heads, hairdos are going to go crazy because, they're going to get their wish. But it feels like we want it to happen because we want something new to happen. We don't want to have Cleveland against Golden State again. When does the NBA schedule come out? Do we know who's playing on Christmas Day?
LeBron is.
Does it feel like, but we don't know where he's going to be.
No, wait.
Do they just say it's LeBron versus Golden State? I think, team to be determined.
I think it's like 11 straight Christmases he's been on TV.
Yeah. And he said, it's not fair if you have kids, you have little ones, and, you want to spend Christmas with them. But the NBA doesn't care. They're like, nope, we need you there. It's a marquee teams' names that we want to showcase. We want to have, first week in August, they let us know. So they're going to know what's happening in free agency. And then, therefore, they can manipulate the schedule if they have to with who they want playing on Christmas. All right, Dan Patrick Show brought to you by the great folks at Mercedes-Benz. If you missed any of the interviews from this week, Mercedes-Benz Summer Event Man Cave, go to the Dan Patrick app, and you can watch and listen from inside the Mercedes-Benz Man Cave. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Spent a lot of time talking about the draft. We'll continue that conversation with Reggie Miller joining us. NFL plans to suspend Jameis Winston first 3 games of the season. I mean, if I'm Tampa, I really start to look at this in a bigger picture and say, is this worth it? The timing's not great. You got Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he's not your future. You missed out on this draft that had all these quarterbacks here. You knew that this was sort of lingering there with Jameis Winston, and you knew there was a possibility of some discipline here. And here we are. It looks like he's down for 3 games for was a sexual assault, grabbing a Uber driver's crotch, a woman. And so now the NFL going to do that. He's not going to appeal this. And if I'm Tampa Bay, I mean, that's your franchise. That's the face of your franchise. He's not a wide receiver who's a diva. He's your quarterback. What are his numbers, McLovin? Because I do have to factor this in because there is a ratio of just how good you are and how much trouble you can be in and still keep your job. Yeah, I'm playing.
Last season he played 13 games, 3,500 yards, 19 touchdowns, 11 picks. If he played 16 games, he probably would have been at about 4,200 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. That would have been his best quarterback rating of his career, 92. So numbers are above average. Wins are below average.
Yeah, they're pretty good, actually. Better than I thought.
Yeah.
He was 9-7 2 years ago. We were all on the Bucs bandwagon entering last season.
Yes, because they had a good offense. They had some defensive players there, and all of a sudden it went south. But man, I'm sure those internal discussions They got to be really interesting when it comes to Jameis Winston. Malcolm in Florida joins us. Hi, Malcolm. What do you have for me?
How you doing today, Dan?
Hey, Mom.
What I got for you today is I think that Winston might be just waiting on the season to get a little bit closer to a field string. And then we got to think about it. It's really not all the way official yet. And here's another question. How come they didn't just give him the full 6 games knowing his history and just give him 3? I don't know if that makes sense either. Thanks for the call.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Malcolm. I think he was working on it like a checkout counter there. Sounded like.
Loading the back of his truck or something.
Yeah, I don't know. He couldn't take time out just to stop for like 2 minutes to.
Hey, work. You got to.
I know.
You got things to do.
I know. I appreciate that. Now, I don't know why it's 3 months. Once again, I'm trying through my sources to get a little bit more background on this, but I haven't been able to. So, Grayson in Virginia. Hey, Grayson, what do you have for me?
Dan, hey, thanks for the call. So last night when Adam Schefter reported, he did mention that Winston is due to make about $700-750 this year. Next year, he has a huge bump in salary. So if he eats the 3 days this season or 3 games this season, then he'll save a lot more on the back end. So that might be the motivation. Also, he settled out of court on the civil suit for the prior issue. However, he was never charged criminally. So when that gentleman earlier called about and said he has a history, that needs to be taken into account as well. So thanks again for taking my call.
All right, Grayson, thank you. Yeah, trying to figure all this out, and that's why when you talk in generalities here, I like to talk in specifics when it comes to something as serious as this. So just reporting what has been reported so far, and then really the track record here, the history with Jameis Winston. And he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt anymore. He does not get the benefit of the doubt. Too many. Paulie has a mystery message game that he wants to play. Can you give us an idea? By the way, I got reason to love Tom Brady even more. I mean, I'm in the fan club, and I got another reason where #Tommy, I'm all in. TB12, love it. I'm going to have something for you coming up that we can all identify with. And I think it's one of the great moments of Tom Brady's career. I do. Do we have the mystery message game?
Yeah, special music scene together.
Oh, I haven't heard this in a while. Okay, time to play the mystery message game.
Dan, according to management, we have a voicemail inbox that people can leave message for. It's kind of exclusive. Wait, now here's the hint.
Oh, it's really exclusive. I didn't know about it.
This is good, though. This is a good new bit.
Okay.
This former athlete was and is super cool, dressed super cool when they played their sport. Those are the hints so far. That's tough.
And they left us a message.
He left us a message.
He left us a message. What was the topic that he left a message about?
You and I think golf. He was hanging out at our Callaway golf facility.
Oh.
Down, the beautiful Shangri-La down there?
Yeah, in Carlsbad.
Yeah, he was striping it.
Oh, so he was there and felt the need to leave us a message that he was...
Your name came up, and he's like, I'd love to... And they gave a number to leave you a message. He dressed very well when he was at his peak, and still does, I'm sure, but...
Michael Jordan.
V-neck sweaters, maybe some plaid pants occasionally. Final hint. Some people say he looks a little bit like you, or vice versa.
Oh, man, that handsome. Bradley Cooper, of course. Wait, that wasn't supposed to be funny. David Letterman.
Ooh, that'd be great. Dan, last chance, Dan.
Plaid pants, V-neck sweaters.
Great at his job. I mean, truly great. All-time great at his job.
And great looking.
Good hair.
Great sense of humor.
Don't be surprised if he's near the leaderboard of the British Open even in his 60s. Dan.
Kind of looks like you.
I'm going to run it.
Okay, let me hear it.
Hello. You've reached the Dan Patrick Show. He's unavailable to take your call, but please leave a message and he'll get back to you at his earliest convenience. Thank you.
Hey, Dan, and the Danettes. It's 8-time major winner Tom Watson. Hey, Dan, I've noticed that you haven't been spending much time in the simulator lately, and you haven't talked about getting in the course recently. What's the deal, man? It's summertime. You need to get out to play. Take advantage of the long days. Go pound that road driver. If you don't get out there, next thing you know, we're going to see McLovin taking the money in the 18th green. How'd you like him to do that? Hope to see you guys soon.
Wow, Tom Watson. That's right. I've been told I look like Tom Watson.
McLovin got a nice Tom Watson shout out to
Yeah, you did.
He must have been reading off a script. There's no way Tom Watson knows.
I don't know.
McLovin.
I'm not sure.
When I was a kid, I wanted to dress like Tom Watson.
Yeah.
He looks so smooth.
Yeah. Now, when I said to Tom Watson, I said, people think we look alike. He goes, no, you look exactly like my brother. But I don't know what Tom Watson... Isn't it weird if somebody says you look like somebody and then you look at that person and you go, I don't look like that person. I don't know what Tom Watson's brother looks like. But I'm going to guess he's devilishly handsome.
You have a brother that looks a lot like Tom Watson. Mike?
My oldest brother?
Is it Mike?
Yeah.
I think Mike looks more like Tom Watson than you do, maybe. I'm pretty sure. I met Mike.
Yeah. He doesn't play any golf like that. No, he does not.
Just looks.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think I look like Tom Watson?
I think that if you were hanging out with Tom Watson, you said I'm a cousin of his or a relative, people would buy it. By the way, I just Googled Tom Watson plaid pants. It's awesome.
Yeah, you do love that. But I'm not a plaid pants guy or a V-neck sweater. I mean, obviously, it's tight jeans for me and just a body shirt, like a tank top. That's usually how I go. I go rogue. In a different way. Yes, Fritzy.
I'm just picturing you with these tight jeans and clothes that you're referring to that you like to walk around in.
Wow, that's weird.
I'm just being honest.
Closing your eyes and thinking about Dan and
Just imagining you in tight clothing, Dan. What a weirdo.
Weirdo, he said.
You created that vision. I can't get
That's
out
what I
of
was
my head
thinking
now.
about here.
Only I'm looking at much different things on my laptop.
Let's take a break. Reggie Miller will join us coming up next year on the Dan Patrick Show. Back after this.
On your mark, get set, go. Double Dare is back on Nickelodeon. That's right, the first and the best game show for kids returns Monday, June 25th at 8. Monday at 8, Double Dare legend Mark Summers is teaming up with new host Laser Koshi to bring you more mind-boggling trivia, larger-than-life obstacles, big prizes, and more slime than ever before. Gear up for the messiest game show on TV. The all-new Double Dare premieres Monday, June 25th at 8. That's Monday at 8 on Nickelodeon.
So everyone knows I put on a lot of miles on my old car driving back and forth to the Dan Patrick Show. Guess what? It's time to buy a new car, and I am so glad that we work with TrueCar because they're helping out so much. If you're looking to buy a car, you're probably familiar. Terms like MSRP, I wasn't. You might even know what that stands for. I didn't. But same goes for invoice, list price, and dealer price. It's enough to confuse even experienced car buyers. All you're really looking for is a price that actually means something. Introducing True Price from TrueCar. Now you can know exactly what you'll pay for the car you want, including fees and accessories, before you even get to the dealership. TrueCar dealers will show you the true price on cars like the one you want, all from the comfort of home. And how do you know if your true price is a great price? Because TrueCar shows you what other people paid for the same car you want. And your certified dealers know this so they can set the true price competitively so they can win your business. So when you're ready to buy a new or a used car, visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Some features not available in all states.
Reggie Miller will be part of the 2018 NBA Awards on TNT, presented by Kia. It airs Monday, June 25th from Los Angeles. Coverage begins 9 Eastern. Also on the 29th of June, Lionsgate releases Uncle Drew, starring Reg, Kyrie Irving, Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Webber, Nate Robinson, and Lisa Leslie. The world premiere of the film is June 26th, which we'll go to in New York City. And Reg joins us now. Reg, how are you?
Good morning, Theodore. I am so excited to walk the red carpet, not only with you, but my Danettes family as well. I know we normally sit in the back and watch the boss man do his thing, but to be a united front team, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Could you wear... Oh, you didn't go to the NBA draft when you were selected, right?
I did not. I was home in Riverside with my family watching it on, I believe it was on TBS at the time.
Okay, because I was wondering, I saw where Jalen Rose brought back his NBA draft suit, and I didn't know... you could still fit in your NBA draft suit if you had one, I'm guessing.
I'm assuming it was probably a sport coat and not a suit. I didn't have a suit back in the day. I had a lot of sport coats. I probably could, body-wise. I grew a little bit since my senior year, like an inch and a half, but I can make it work. I can rock it.
But I got you with jean shorts on. Like, are these white jeans when you're drafted?
I know. It was a bad look. I didn't know. I believe I had like a don't foul out hat on or something like that. It wasn't a great look. More importantly, how about this? Look at the couch that was in our living room in Riverside.
Floral.
Come on, Saul and Carrie. The floral couch. Holy Moses. But it sure was comfortable. There was nice change in there. Pops would come home from the base, and he would fall asleep after work, and, quarters and dimes would fall out. We were on our way to 7-Eleven, so it was a comfortable couch.
I can see all of Cheryl's trophies in the background.
All of them. You see the smallest one there? Do you see the smallest trophy that's like behind us? That was mine. All those Naismith and big trophies and awards, those were all Cheryl Dean's.
All right, we'll talk about the draft, but here's a couple of things. The Lakers were told that San Antonio's not interested in trading Kawhi Leonard. That's the report. What do you make of that?
Well, duh. Why would San Antonio help a rival out? And why would they help form a potential super team, a team that they're going to have to go against 4 times during the regular season and potentially in the playoffs? If they are, which I still believe they are not going to deal Kawhi Leonard, they're going to deal him to the East, where they would only have to see him twice. Yeah. They are not going to trade Kawhi Leonard if they end up doing that to a Western Conference team. They are not going to help out any team out West.
All right, there was another, I saw this headline, and it said where Kobe Altman, who's the GM of the Cavs, said that he had a good dialogue with LeBron's people. What would good dialogue constitute to you?
Mr. James, here's a blank check. I think the max can be $36 or $37 million. How would you want us, and which free agents do you want us to pursue? Who would you be willing to call to see if they are willing to come and play with you? A great dialogue is basically doing whatever LeBron James wants and needs for him to stay in Cleveland. So if that's getting Paul George, if that's bringing in Chris Paul, it's those type of conversations, if you're Mr. Altman, you have to have with LeBron James. I, at the end of the day, still believe he's going to leave. I mean, he's done everything that he said he's wanted to do in Cleveland, and that's win a championship. And I just don't see free agents wanting to come to Cleveland and play with him. And to me, that's the biggest thing. And that's why I just think he has his bags packed. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, Charles Barkley and Shaq both said LeBron should not be chasing rings for his legacy. Now, these are two guys who chased rings. So what do you think of LeBron chasing rings?
Well, I just think wherever he ends up, you become a super team because he's going to be able to attract other than Cleveland free agents. So if he does go to Philadelphia, the infrastructure is already there with the young talent, with Embiid and Simmons and Saric. But Houston, you got, obviously Chris Paul if he opts in and James Harden. You become a superpower with LeBron James. Look, his legacy is set. He is one of the greatest to ever play the game. But
to be recognized as the greatest, you got to chase rings here, Reg. And I don't think LeBron is going, I'm satisfied if I never play for another title again, or I don't win another title.
Does that sound like LeBron James?
No.
I think LeBron James always has to be in the mix.
Yes.
So I don't think it's necessarily him chasing rings. I think he wants to assemble the best possible team or surround himself with the best possible talent and team to compete versus Golden State.
But if he stays in Cleveland, you're not chasing a ring. If you leave, then people are going to define that as chasing a ring.
Well, to me, it's about quality of life, too. And I believe his kids are getting ready to enter high school, and he's probably starting a new chapter in terms of that and their development. And from what I understand, they may be going to school out here in Los Angeles. So now that factors back in to, yes! So, I mean, Clippers and the Lakers are back in play, but I don't see him playing for the Lakers. So to me, it's all about quality of life. I think his legacy, to me, is already set.
Wait, you don't see him playing for the Lakers? You see him if he goes out playing for the Clippers?
Possibly. I can see him more so playing for the Clippers than I would the Lakers.
Why?
I don't think he wants to follow in Kobe Bryant's shadow. I think if he goes to the Clippers, right now he could be arguably the greatest Clipper ever in 3 to 4 years. Right? If he played 3 or 4 years with the Clippers, he'd be the greatest.
Okay, who is the best Clipper of all time?
You would throw Blake. You would throw
Chris Paul.
Well, that's Chris Paul. Danny Manning.
Okay.
But look how hard we're having to think about this, right? If LeBron James went to the Clippers, he would be the greatest Clipper of all time in one season.
So you think
in one season.
You just think that he doesn't want to follow in Kobe's footsteps, and that'd be the biggest reason why he wouldn't do it.
Big shadow. That's a big shadow because if he doesn't win, everyone's going to be like, well, he's not Kobe. And now it goes the pecking order. And remember, you and I are not supposed to be doing this, but regular fans are going to be like Michael, then Kobe, and then probably LeBron because he couldn't deliver a championship to the Lakers.
There were a lot of big guys drafted last night, and my point is, it's one thing to be 7 feet, but it's how you play at 7 feet.
Right.
And You know, Durant's 7 feet, but he doesn't play like a 7-footer. So is the NBA shifting back at all to having a post presence here, or is this just an aberration of you had the best guys are at that size, and that doesn't mean that the league is skewing that way?
I will always take size, but if you look at most of the bigs that were drafted last night, other than even Bamba, Bamba can face you up and knock down a three. Jaren Jackson, even though it's a set shot, can face up and knock down threes when uncontested. DeAndre Ayton, the number 1 pick, he talked about wanting to be one of those players to play with his back to the basket, but he can face you up as well. It's been a sign of the times for our league. Your big men have to be able to do multiple things. You just can't play like Shaquille with your back to the basket and be dominant. You got to be able to face the defense and keep them honest by knocking down, a 15 to 18 footer. If you're good enough to stretch it out to the 3-point line, that's great. And also defensively, you've got to be able to switch all pick and rolls. That's the way our game has gone, and you've got to be able to move your feet at least 3 to 4 steps either way to keep the guard in front until the guard can, to your defensive guard can catch up. So that's what your big men have to be able to do in today's game, as opposed to just throwing it down low on the block and saying, go get me 25 points.
Who do you think emerged? If I gave you the top 5 players in the draft, and then I took the rest of the field on who is going to have the most All-Star appearances, would you take the top 5 players in the draft, or would you give me everybody else?
In this draft?
Yeah.
I would give you everyone else. It's hard to say what these guys are going to do. It's great, 7-footers, athleticism. Jay Billis kept harping on it, and he's right about the wingspan, 6'5", and he got a 7-foot. I mean, I get all that. I get the analytics. But, Theodore, do you really know? I mean, are you really sold on DeAndre Ayton really turning around the fortunes of the Phoenix Suns? I'm not.
No.
I mean, Bagley, who was great in his 1 year at Duke, but is he really going to change Sacramento Kings? Are they really in contention now to make a playoff spot? I mean, they'll be better, I think, but you don't know. I do like what Atlanta did. I think getting the shooter, Kevin Huerter, and obviously Trae Young in that trade with Doncic, and then picking up Spellman. I thought Spellman was a fantastic player for Villanova on that championship team. I like those 3 pieces for Atlanta. They'll be better, but again, at the end of the day, they're still 3 rookies, but they'll be better in time. They can grow together.
Yeah, I would take the rest of the field. I'm just not sure. I don't know if there's one of those transcendent franchise players in the draft. I said yesterday that I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas went after Doncic, just because if you can get him and put him in there with Dennis Smith Jr. with 1 more year with Dirk, maybe that's a nice transitional guy you can have. Dirk can help him with the transition. Now you're interesting to watch. And as you know, Orlando has been irrelevant because there's just no reason to watch them. Atlanta, there's no reason to watch them. I'm going to watch with Trae Young. Sacramento, there's a mild curiosity I have with Sacramento. They may accidentally get it right. But you just don't want to be irrelevant, and some of these franchises are irrelevant, and even these draft picks, like Jaren Jackson Jr., he could be a great player, but he's playing in Memphis. And
are you really going to watch Memphis?
No,
I mean, it's great.
No.
Don't get me wrong, and he's going to be teamed with Marc Gasol and obviously
Mike Conley Jr.
Mike Conley coming back from injury, so that helps. But okay, are you tuning in? Oh my God, the Memphis Grizzlies are on because Jaren Jackson Jr. is playing. No, but I want to see, and you talked about Luka Doncic. I mean, what a perfect fit for 1 more year to learn under Dirk Nowitzki. I would park my locker right next to his. And every day I would come in with an index card with a question on it saying, Mr. Nowitzki, can you please answer this question? And yes, I would address him as Mr. Can you please answer this question for me? And I would have a question every single day for Dirk if I was Luka.
Can you teach that move, the Dirk move?
Well, Kevin Durant picked it up, so obviously you can teach it.
But why don't more guys do that? Because it already gives me separation where I can kick my leg out and I've got separation from you. And the fact that I'm 7 feet tall, so it's really hard to block Durant and Dirk's shot.
Well, number one, you've got to be an elite scorer like those 2 guys have been throughout their whole careers. And you've got to have size. I mean, both are 7-footers and both have high release points on their jump shots. Now you're telling me that they have that separation because of that, what is it, a knee or a...
I think it's a knee.
It's a knee. There's no way you're blocking that shot. And you're fading away a little bit as well. But yeah, it's very difficult to master. Those are 2 of the best. Obviously, Dirk created it, but Kevin Durant has put a new spin on it.
I got into this text discussion with Darius Rucker, and he said, you're starting your team, Vince Carter or Dirk Nowitzki?
Wow. Wow, that's very good. I may go with Dirk.
Yeah, I would too.
I may go with Dirk.
If I have a chance to win, I want Dirk. If I have a chance to just be average and I want to entertain, then I got Vince Carter.
And sell tickets,
Yeah. I mean,
but I'm not discrediting Vince because Vince, obviously, a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
But at least Dirk is a double-double, too, points and rebounds. Young Dirk, right?
We had a guy who drove up from Tampa with his family just to ask a question in the parking lot, and he asked McLovin, asked Dan if Carmelo Anthony's a Hall of Famer, and I went, he drove all the way from Tampa for an obvious answer? Like, Melo's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Remember, people, it's body of work. And remember, he won an NCAA championship at Syracuse.
Okay, who would go in first? Carmelo or Vince?
Carmelo.
Just because of the title in college, or is he a better player?
Well, let me see. Paulie, look this up. In terms of points, who's ahead right now? I believe Carmelo's at, 24 or 25, right? 1,000 points? Right now, I would have to say Carmelo.
Vince is probably low 20s, isn't he?
He's low 20s, right. So, points-wise, I think Carmelo's ahead of him. Both are going in. Both will be first ballot. But I believe Carmelo's at least 24 or 25,000
Yeah, Paulie.
points.
I've got, this is closer than you'd expect. Carmelo Anthony is at 25,417 points. Vince Carter, still counting, is at 24,868.
Wow.
Less than 1,000.
Wow. Well, because of the Syracuse chip, right?
Yeah.
That's got to mean something, and won it as a freshman.
How many guys would take Vince Carter's jumping skills at 41? Like, if you said
take that.
you're coming into the league and you're going to jump like Vince Carter at 41.
Yeah. Well, this guy kept his body in immaculate shape, so it's not surprising.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so next week's a big week for us, Reg. We got red
I
carpet.
cannot wait. Red carpet.
After party,
Tuesday.
obviously. I mean, we're going to...
Oh, yeah, we're toasting, baby.
Really?
After party with my Danettes and you, obviously, Theodore.
Wait. Is there bottle service, Reg?
There better be bottle service. We better talk to Lionsgate. Come on, Lionsgate.
Wait, when's the last time you went to a club and had bottle service?
I know. I'm up here just working like I'm in the club. I know. That's why it's going to be fun. It's been a while since I've been in the club.
We'll get who was first team all club when you played?
First team. Oh, well, Rodman. He's probably CEO, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I would go with Rodman. First team all club.
Did you ever smell alcohol in Rodman?
No.
Okay.
But you could just look in his eyes like he had one of them kind of nights. And it was almost like, not only did he have one of those kind of nights, man, you kind of wish you were with him. Because he was at probably some nice strip clubs. He probably had all the girls around him. Dude partied hard, but he played harder on the court.
Reg,
so he got it done.
I don't think you could have hung with Rodman.
No, I know I could.
You wouldn't want to hang with Rodman.
A little bit.
No, I saw it up close one night in Chicago, and I went, man, nope, can't, nope. Nope.
Okay.
He had the entire bar, a private bar that was full of kamikazes.
Oh my God! I think I just threw up in my mouth.
And every time you went to get a beer, he made you do a kamikaze every single time because he was controlling the bar tab. And he's like, bro, he'd always call me Sager. He'd go, hey Sager, do a shot. So I do a kamikaze. I'm just getting a Budweiser there. And he had his arm around a guy and a girl with a Chicago police shirt on. And who knows what happened after that? I just know that Dennis did not get cheated that night.
Yeah,
you don't want that.
I cannot. No, I don't want that.
By
My
the way,
liver does not want that.
Rodman's best game ever came against you guys.
What were his numbers?
March of 92. Rodman had 34 rebounds.
While a member of the Bulls or a member of the Pistons?
It was March of 92. I'm going to guess.
Was he with
Spurs? He was with the Spurs, and he had 34 rebounds when he was with Spurs.
Oh, my God. Come on, Dale and Antonio Davis. Keep him off the glass.
Yeah.
Come on, Rick Smith.
But he didn't guard you, did he?
No. Well, yes, on switches.
Oh, okay. But he didn't. He would never. You were the best.
No, he would never. No, he's not that dumb. He's dumb. He was good, but he wasn't that dumb. He's not going to start off. Now, he might switch on a switch or coming off a screen. He might show out. But he's not. No, not off tip off. No, he's not that dumb.
And he knows better. He had 6.
He knows better.
How many did Reggie have in that game?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and did we win or lose? If he got 34 rebounds, they better have won.
Rodman had 34 rebounds and 10 points. Reggie, oh, no.
Oh, no. That bad?
Did Reggie get double figures?
Reg was 3 for 6 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, and only 6 points in 36 minutes.
What the heck?
In 92? In 1992?
Rodman shut you down.
Oh, no.
He did. Maybe he did guard me that night. Oh, maybe I was ejected. Well, how many minutes did I play?
You played
That'll tell me a lot.
You played 36 minutes.
Yeah, then he guarded me. Oh, man.
You know who outscored you? Greg Dreiling.
I'm telling you, I was in foul trouble then, maybe. 92. So who was my coach in 92? I'm going to go with, who was our coach in 1992?
Wait, you're going to blame your coach?
Yeah, that's what modern-day players do now. They always blame the coach.
I like it. 6 points, Reg.
Look at that again. 6 points. Are you sure about that, Paulie? In 1992?
I hate to say it. Michael Williams, some guy named Michael Williams had 28 for you guys.
He carried us.
Yeah, Fritzy.
He carried us.
Bob Hill, head coach.
Bob
of the Indiana
Hill.
Pacers.
Bob Hill was holding me back. That's what it was. Where was the game played? In the Alamo Dome or in Market Square?
It was actually at the Pistons. It was a Pistons game. Pacers Pistons.
Oh, it was a Pistons. Ooh. Oh, I know what happened. I was getting hit repeatedly.
Oh, Bad Boys.
Yes, it was the Bad
Boys.
It was Joe Dumars.
That's
what it was.
Well, there's no shame.
Now it makes sense.
There's no
I'm going to
shame.
say San Antonio, now it's no shame. Now it's making sense. Okay. Because if it was the Spurs, I'm really disappointed that I only had 6 points versus the Spurs in 92. But now that you said Bad Boys, okay, yeah, I was getting my bell rung. That's what happened.
Shut you down. All right, we'll see you next week. We got the premiere of Uncle Drew, and then Reggie will join us in studio as well. So I'll talk to you next week.
You're the best, Theodore. Danettes, love y'all.
That's Reggie Aloysius Miller. We're back to close up shop on this Meet Friday after this.
Hey, listeners, just wanted to take a minute to thank all our great sponsors and all of you great listeners for supporting this podcast. We certainly couldn't do it without either of you. And I wanted to remind you that you can support our sponsors by going to our show page at podcast1.com, clicking on the Support This Podcast button, and there you will see all our wonderful sponsors that help make this show possible. Thank you for downloading, subscribing, and of course, supporting. And now, back to the show.
Here at Podcast One, we love hearing from you. We read every tweet and comment you send our way. So don't miss your chance to take our summer listener survey. Just go to podcastone.com and click on the survey banner, or go to podcastone.com/mysurvey. It only takes a few minutes, and it gives you the opportunity to make a direct impact on your favorite shows. Tell us how you really feel so we can get to know you better. We value your thoughts and participation. So check out the survey at podcastone.com/mysurvey, or click on the survey banner on podcastone.com. Stay tuned for 60 seconds of AP News headlines right after this podcast.
Oh, let's close up shop, Little Arcade Fire, and this goes out to Mikal Bridges' mom. So excited her son was going to play for the 76ers, a team she works for, and then all of a sudden... I think she'll like going to Scottsdale in the wintertime, leaving Philadelphia. If you're the Phoenix Suns, do you offer her a job in the front office, right? And then you let her set up 5 burner phones where she could talk about the 76ers. Yes, McLovin.
Wait, is she really leaving the 76ers? Is that? I think she might stay.
No, I'm just throwing that out there.
No, but everyone else thinks she's going.
Her son just got traded.
I think she is quitting, actually. That's what the scuttlebutt is. But would you say, I mean, would you leave a team that didn't draft your son?
Well, they drafted him, and they traded him. RockAuto.com, all the parts your car or truck will ever need. I went yesterday. Got to see an update on the truck, the 53 Chevy pickup. Got my parts. I had to get parts for the bed. It's made out of wood. So I had to get some aluminum strips in there, got some mirrors on the side. I was able to find some stuff there. Not easy for a 5-window 53 Chevy pickup truck. But you can go there, rockauto.com 24/7. And this was founded by automotive engineers in 1999. A family business, and they want to give you direct access to the parts information hidden in the computers and catalogs behind the parts store counter. Also, they just want to make the prices reliably low prices for you. And you're cutting out the middleman. So that's what I love about rockauto.com. A lot of times you'll find parts you've been told dealer only, not available. That's not the case with the folks at Rock Auto. RockAuto.com, they're there 24/7. You don't have to waste time and money hunting for parts, phoning, driving, waiting in lines. Go to rockauto.com today. Make sure you tell them we sent you. That's rockauto.com. All right, I mentioned a new reason for me to love Tom Brady, and maybe one of his great moments. He went to see a concert. He went to see U2 the other night with Giselle, and he did what we all do, and he actually let somebody record it. Here's Tom Brady singing at the U2 show. I love it. Paulie?
Remember we had Edelman in last year, and he said, when Brady's mad is when his voice goes up an octave and he starts yelling.
He was singing. He went up an octave there. Dan Patrick Show brought to you by Farmers. Their customizable home insurance packages offer coverage options that you can tailor for your home turf. At Farmers, we know a thing or two. We've seen a thing or two. Discover home coverage options and more at farmers.com. It's been fun. Thanks for joining us on this Meet Friday. Seton Paulie, Fritzy McLovin, yours truly. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday right here on the Dan Patrick Show.
True crime fans rejoice. Small Town Murder is now on Podcast One. Crime and Sports' James Petrogallo and Jimmy Wisman look at small towns, what makes them tick, and the murders that took place there. In-depth research, horrible tragedy, and the host's comedic spin on the whole thing. What can go wrong? Subscribe to hear new episodes every Thursday on podcastone.com, the Podcast One app, and Apple Podcasts.
Immigration fight. I'm Tim McGuire with an AP News Minute. House Republican leaders say they will continue working on a comprehensive immigration bill, even as President Trump says lawmakers should wait until after the midterm elections. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy says it's important that Congress address the issue now. Congressional Democrats continue to sharply criticize the president. Maryland Congressman Steny Hoyer.
He is taking infant children hostage, wrenching them from the arms of their parents.
Tacoma, Washington police, using DNA collected from a 12-year-old who was murdered more than 30 years ago, have made a cold case arrest. Police Chief Don Ramsdale says his investigators got the word earlier this week.
The lab contacted us with a match between the original DNA and the sample collected from Gary Hartman.
The 66-year-old Hartman is in custody, charged with murder of Michaela Ward. She was last seen riding her bike in 1986. I'm Tim McGuire.